We're still outraged. We're outraged at the fact that there's an uptick in violence. We're outraged at the fact that people are trying to put a spin and a twist on things. We can't politicize this, and we cannot ignore it away. It's painful. We know some of the families are involved who have to deal with the painful reality of their loved one loss. And so we're not here pointing fingers. We're here trying to connect, strategize, and like I said, it's a series of meetings that should be forthcoming in connection with this particular meeting here. But my heart is warmed at the fact that we have so many people from different sectors of our community that are concerned about the uptick in violence and determined to make a difference. So we have the mayor is here, we have the police commissioner here, we have our DA that's here, we also have the superintendent of schools. She's here as well because, as you know, we've had an uptick in violence in the schools also. So, you know, we're not here to antagonize anyone. You can ask questions, they'll answer your question, but I just want to say, as the senior pastor here, we have to work together in all sectors of our community to do what we can do to curtail the violence. But we are outraged. We feel the pain of the families involved, and we know some of the people that are involved, and we can do better as a city. So it's up to us to make sure that we hold each other accountable. So with that, how do you want, what order you want to go?
We'll just pop in.
Okay, we just go whatever order that they want to go. God bless you.
Thank you, Bishop. Thank you so much to Bishop Dickerson for hosting us today for a really deep conversation with community members and leaders from the faith community and in elected office and in various other roles who have been involved for a long time in pushing for that vision of Boston that includes every single one of our young people and has the opportunities that we all deserve and peace and safety in our neighborhoods. I'm really grateful to be working alongside so many incredible staff within the city of Boston, partners at other levels, and community members who are ready to go. We talked about a number of threads of what people are experiencing right now in the neighborhoods and what needs have been identified, what areas of action are already taking place in different corners that we can tie together and coordinate and work even more fully towards. There is a lot of conversation around trauma response and the need to ensure that we are touching every single person, every student who might be at all impacted by recent events, or community members or parishioners and members of the faith community who have connections, because Boston is a small city where people know each other, and every single incident affects so many in our communities. We talked about mental health and the rise and urgency and depth of need that is spilling over into many of the ways that we're interacting with each other and seeing play out in our schools and at subway stations and in every space. We talked about violence prevention and intervention and the efforts that are already happening on the ground in community, and how city efforts and our Boston Public Health Commission, some of the convenings and conversations that are moving forward around really defining a plan for next summer and continuing to build on the work that's happening today. All those pieces can be pulled together. And we discussed the need for schools to have a central part of this. The efforts that I think in some ways were we had seen not receive as much attention or investment during the years of the pandemic, because there was just dropping everything to make sure students and families were fed and safe and had the resources they need to battle a new virus and that global health pandemic. As we are now settling a little bit, you know, obviously COVID is still with us, but as we are now moving towards a recovery from the pandemic, really ensuring that we are reinvigorating and putting back together all of the supports that we know, student by student, school by school, classroom by classroom, how we can all have a part in wrapping around each one of our young people and our families, because the mental health epidemic that is in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic is certainly here with us. And so I am encouraged by the partnerships that we strengthened today and eager to move with urgency with all of our community partners in taking on the work ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. We had a very, I would say, good and productive meeting earlier. A lot of frank discussion, transparency, talking about how we go forward to address what many see as a surge in violent crime, and it is real. We're not diminishing that by any stretch of the imagination. We're going to address those perceptions, and address those concerns, and address those fears, while also recognizing that Boston is at a very key crossroads right now, where we're still bucking the trends of many other major cities. And so what I said in that meeting and what I'm saying here now is that we have an opportunity, a real opportunity before us, to do many things that we've done well here in Boston for so long, that may have us at a place where, despite the recent surge, that violent crime is in a relatively good space. And that is that we have done intervention and prevention in this city well. We've been heralded for it. We've done returning citizens and programs for them very well. We've been recognized and heralded for that. We've done alternatives to prosecution well and recognized for that. Community policing and prosecution well and been recognized for that. But I'm not sure we've ever done, and I could be wrong, but I'm not sure we've ever done them all well at the exact same time, together, in a spirit of unity and a spirit of collaboration. And I think we have a time such as this right now to seize upon where we are, to do all of those things together well. And with that comprehensive approach, I think that we will be able to make the difference. And back in the time of the Boston Miracle, we were heard to be said time and time again that faith without works is dead. The same holds true now. We have faith that we will continue to move forward, that we will continue to pray for the peace and prosperity of this city, and in fact reach that peace and prosperity, but we will do that by working together collaboratively. I am so excited and encouraged by the partnerships that we have with the school, with the mayor's office, with the police commissioner, and with our faith-based partners, and with so many other people in our community. Together we will make a difference. Together we will move forward to hope for a better and brighter day. It's really good to see you all today. We had a very productive meeting, a lot of transparency and truth and honesty in there. That's what's wanted and needed, and it's a good thing. Thank you.
So I want to first of all say, certainly recently there's been what seemingly is an uptick in crime, but we want to send our condolences certainly to the victims and their families, and to certainly the homicides that have happened recently. Today's meeting was tremendous in the sense that you hear me talk about community policing a lot in building trust. Well, the city is coming together as we should, and as we have in the past, to deal with crime and fear of crime. And so I think today was just a commitment from a lot of different people, from faith leaders, certainly from schools, the city itself, and the mayor who certainly has made this a priority to make sure that we're doing all we can to keep people safe. The police always have a role. We have a lane, so to speak, and we're always going to do what we can to proactively do all that we can to prevent things through visibility. But the fact is that we need support and help, because these issues are far bigger than traditional law enforcement. And today's meeting, emphasized and talked about a lot of those things and the different roles that different people can play. So I was encouraged by it, and hopefully, as we go forward, we'll continue these conversations on ways to build a safer city.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. I was very appreciative of the opportunity to come together today. It felt incredibly supportive to have our mayor and our city agencies, our faith-based community, state elected officials all together talking about how we can support and curb the kind of violence that's happening in our community and in our schools that impacts our youth. We hold 49,000 students every day in the Boston Public Schools, and they're impacted, whether that violence happens in a school, or whether it happens on their way to school, or on the front steps of their school, or at their home. And so it's pivotal that we all come together, and this space gave us the opportunity to do that, to continue conversations that we've begun, and I'm very optimistic about that. I know for our schools, a big piece for us is to make sure that, the mental health supports for our students and our families, our restorative justice, our social workers are all activated within our schools. And certainly that, as I think I've said before, due to the pandemic, we've had a number of our students drop out. If you know an 18 or a 17-year-old that's not in school, or a 21-year-old that's not in school and didn't finish, please have them call our re-engagement center so we can get them connected. We have to have the opportunity to give our young people who were not able to finish during the pandemic a plan, skills, a job, a diploma. And these are the ways that the media can help, our public can help. We'll be starting a re-engagement campaign around this. Chronic absenteeism is another. Our students need to be in school. That's where they're safest. That's where they'll learn. That's where they're meant to be. And so we'll be working on this as well, having a lot of door knocking events, going out into the community, talking, home visitations, talking with parents and students who aren't coming to school on a regular basis. These are all things that we'll be folding out in support with our partners in the days to come. Thank you.